Okay, let's discuss the creator role because you're the one that directs the mission. The world responds. So here's what it means to be a creator: to create art, to create content, to create movies, to create whatever, a book, a story, a narrative. You are taking a craft and shaping it to have an impact in the world and to somehow get the world to respond. Well, the 40 story environment is no different, except that I believe it extends beyond those with natural talent in certain areas. It is a craft of its own to learn how to manipulate and utilize, but I believe that the learning curve is much more gradual and easier, and doesn't require a level of proficiency to have an impact. It just requires you to participate. And of course, it requires consistency because that's what the social platforms we distribute the stories on require. But we automated some of that so that you have that completely filled. But the reality is, as the creator, you are going to define each character in your in your kinetic avatars, or you're going to put out a casting call and you're going to find characters with architects that align with your goals, your voice, and your frequency. And then, of course, we have tools in there that ensure you're able to diagnose each character around those elements. You get to shape the lore. You get to establish the myth spine, the visual canon, the story arcs, the waypoints, the rules, everything that creates depth to your story. That is in your power. And not only that, but you get to shape the message that you're trying to promote through your fundamental frequency and your goals, your motivations, and emotional responses. When you launch productions and create scenes, you're directing the Mobius Ball towards your creative vision. So we just spoke of that in the last video. It's constantly watching and synthesizing the story with the characters, with the fan engagement, etc. And it is allowing you then to just act as, if you will, Captain Key acts as the captain of the Moby sub. Well, he's not doing every aspect of the work to keep that sub in motion. He is directing others, and he kind of acts as the central processing unit. You do the same with your story. And we give you the ability to, because you're managing humans who are architecting the kinetic avatars. You are managing humans who are working the back end, which could be the books and the videography and things like this, editing, etc. You're also managing kinetic avatars, which are these digital representations of characters, and you're managing agents, which are the crew that we give you access to in various parts of managing the story, so that they can keep an eye on the story for you while you're away. So you are directing the entire mission. And if the story starts to move away because, let's say, fan interaction starts pushing it away from the goal that you intend for it, there are things that you can do to strengthen that goal so that those fans who are pushing away can ultimately be of their own fruition and their own volition, I should say. They naturally fall away so that your story can stay on track. So you're directing the mission of the story. And then you curate what the world produces in your story. So if the world is nudging your story, you have power to approve that content, because they're never going to directly affect the scenes. They're just going to nudge them and make recommendations, and you can choose to include them or not. When you create a story, you can create it using the scene machine and the onboard tools that we give you, or you can create your own scenes outside of the story and just upload them through the scene machine so that you have a means to um, um, keep track of the codex of each particular element. But so that the Mobius ball is aware of what you created. But don't get it wrong. The story doesn't, the kinetic avatars and the fans don't dictate the story. You, as the creator, are responsible for the mission. You have tools to keep it on track at a distance, and it changes slowly, so you have time to react. And the ultimate goal is that you align with your fans, and as the world responds to your theme and your mission, then you are able to have an impact in charting a new way forward.